Welcome to Scooby-Doo Legend of the Podcast, where we are trying to create a continuous Scooby-Doo timeline. So, today we will be discussing episode 9 of A Pup Named Scooby-Doo. This is chapter 9 of our timeline. It's titled Scooby-Dooed. So, I am once again joined with London today.
Hello, people.
I just keep pulling her back.
It's fine. It's been fun. I hope you guys are enjoying.
So, what did you think of this episode? Little mini review.
I actually really liked it. There was a lot going on. There was a lot, I think, of different storylines happening all at once. Different things that the gang were trying to resolve or find. And we got a lot of characters in this episode as well. So there was a lot to choose from.
I was like, holy crap, we're getting so many side characters.
Yeah, there was a ton in this episode. So... including animals, so...
yeah.
So, that was kind of fun. So, I liked it. I thought it was fun. We got a different setting. They were at the beach, which was fun.
Which, random, because right now we're guessing they're in Ohio. Is Ohio, have a beach?
I mean, I think the closest thing would be a lake beach, Michigan or close. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, there are.
So, one of the Great Lakes. That's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, that's interesting. There's Lake Erie.
Yeah.
Which, in the 4th live-action movie, they're in Coolsville at that time, and they, there's this, so, that movie's called Curse of the Lake Monster. Mm-hmm. So they're in high school at that time. And it's summer vacation, and we get this kind of backstory of why they're going to Lake Erie. But so there was a past mystery that they did, which was actually a real episode of one of the old series. But basically, they were trying to solve the mystery of the scarecrow that's at this farm, and it was during the series, the new Scooby-Doo movies, which is the series where they have a new celebrity guest star each episode.
Oh, yeah.
So this one had Jonathan Winters. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so at least in the movies version of that episode, the scarecrow lights the barn on fire.
Oh.
And so what they're doing now is they've got summer jobs at Daphne's uncle's new resort thing to help pay off the barn that burnt. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so yeah, they go to Lake Erie. This new resort's built at Lake Erie.
Oh.
So interesting.
That's interesting. So possibly that's a connection with wherever they're at, because they didn't say. They just said the beach.
Yeah, they didn't say. There's another one called Cedar Point.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, they could be there.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Yeah.
But
it was kind of funny because in the last episode they were skiing and now they're at the beach, in the very next episode.
And then the next one is actually Halloween.
Yeah, so I don't know where they're at, but this is great. So skiing, they're at a place where there's lots of different seasons going on.
Pretty much. I know. I'm like, what's the weather like?
Yeah, I mean, cold. I think most of the time, but
because here in Utah, it's have every season in it.
Yeah, we have bipolar weather, so that could be how it is here.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So, this episode, again, takes place on a beach. Mm-hmm. They are going to help Velma's aunt. We are getting some family tree going on. Yeah. Except, we can't connect it anymore. Because it's Aunt Thelma, which is funny because a lot of times, if people aren't totally knowledgeable with Scooby-Doo, they often call Velma Thelma.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say either IMDb or somewhere else, but where, you get cast information, whatever. The, either the first or second live action movie, they put, I'm trying to think who. Linda Cardellini, I think, is who played Velma.
Oh, uh-huh.
Those, and anyway, it has her character as Thelma. And then in, the new Scoob movie that's coming out in May, they had an ad on some newscast or something. They were talking about it, and the guy, whoever, the newscaster or whatever, was oh, you know, like the Mystery Inc. gang are back in the big screen, blah, blah, blah. You'll see Fred, you'll see Daphne and whatever. He didn't say Thelma, he said, you'll see Wilma.
Wilma? I think we're mixing with the Flintstones?
Yeah, I was like, wait. Anyway, so it's interesting that her aunt is like the name that she usually gets mixed up with.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I wonder if she's the reason.
Maybe she's the reason. Like, yeah, because maybe like her mom. I'm leaning towards like it's her maternal aunt. I don't know. I'm getting this vibe. So maybe her mom was like, "I'll name after my sister, but not quite. Like we'll just rhyme it." So maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We never did get a last name.
No.
And that's why we're like we don't know. Oh, mine's not recording anymore. Rude.
Oh, that's so rude.
What the heck just
Should
happened?
I pass?
No.
Okay.
Keep yours going. I'm going to steal your audio from me.
Yeah. That sucks.
Okay, try that again and... Oh, nope. Cancel. I need the microphone. No, not. Well, I wonder how much I just missed.
Crap, yeah.
Oh, well. This is how my 48 hours have been going on.
This is how it goes.
I was... totally off topic of the podcast, but I was doing my reaction to the Zombies 2 movie last night.
Yeah.
And like maybe 10-ish minutes into it, our Wi-Fi died. So it stopped and I'm like,
oh my gosh.
No, I can't right now.
Oh my gosh.
So I had to like pull my, get my phone out, put it to cellular, and I was waiting for the Wi-Fi to come back and it wouldn't. So then like during the commercial break, I had to run downstairs, unplug the router, plug it back in, and anyway, and then at another point, I mean, this wasn't like a big deal, but like the dogs were ready for bed, so I had to like go get them, and like, and then I like screen recorded the movie off of my computer, because it's like it's not out yet, so I can't pull it from somewhere,
right,
and. Anyway, so, I went to go edit it, and I'm like the actual, like, time that the Wi-Fi was working, I didn't get the clips. I'm like...
That's how it goes.
I'm going...
Oh, my gosh.
And then, the whole, it got blocked, I'm like...
Oh, yeah. Like,
I'm not meant to do this.
You're like, sorry, guys, it's not going to happen. This is why...
Anyway,
to happen.
I mean, it looks like it's up and good. People are
reacting to
it. Yeah, they're like shouting in the comments. It's up.
They're just more excited it's up than actually like.
I mean, I had to cut like 10 minutes of my reaction, but I mean, I warned them. I was like, "Hey, it's gonna be like really short now." But what were we talking about? Thelma.
Oh yeah, Thelma.
Thelma.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, we don't know where she's from, but what I was going to say is that she looks like Velma.
Yeah, she looks
so
like her.
I feel like it's
and
probably more on her mom's side. Yeah, she has the same glasses.
She looks the same.
And she walks the same. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, her walk was.
Oh.
I was like, oh, okay, so it's just like her, her family, not just because she's short.
Yeah. So if we get to see Velma's family, then maybe we'll be like, okay, looks like her mom.
Which I know, I'm trying to think if we do see her family in this series. Mm-hmm. This is honestly a series I watched a lot when I was younger, just because it was on, like, when I was getting ready for school, so I'd have it on all the time, but for whatever reason, it was, like, always the same 4 episodes, and so those ones are just ingrained in my mind, and the rest I've maybe, seen
in
not
order,
as much.
Like, so you're not sure.
And anyway, but I know we see her family in Mr. Incorporated, and she looks like her mom.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe that maybe that's her maternal aunt, but just a guess.
Yeah. We haven't seen her since this episode.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Okay. Well, I guess we'll start talking about the gang and what they do.
Yeah.
We'll go with Fred, just because he's the leader, man.
He's the leader. Let's go with Freddy.
So he actually told the gang to split up before they even started the mystery.
Yeah, they arrive at the Institute, and Shaggy and Scooby want to go surfing, and then Fred and Daphne and Velma are like, no, we gotta go to the Marine Institute first. But yeah, he splits them up, and
That was interesting. Just a side note that like Shaggy and Scooby were so set on surfing.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I don't know in the last episode if it was as much. I think so. Fred was like, "We're skiing." Yeah, because he set up the.
Yeah, he
plan.
set up the thing. Yeah.
So there's another episode once they're older. I think it's in the original series, or maybe it's the new Scooby-Doo movies. So the second series. Anyway, an older episode, but when they're older, they go on another ski trip and whatever. And Fred is just like, "We are here to ski. We are skiing." And so, like, you know, they, like, figure out about the mystery and whatever. And he's so, like, we came to ski. We are skiing before we solve this mystery. And so, anyways, it's funny that, like, Fred's so, like, skiing. And Scooby and Shaggy are, like, surfing.
Well, yeah, and I guess because the intention of going was to go find the dolphins, and when they were going skiing, the intention was, this is a holiday, and we're going to go skiing. True. But I don't know. Like, I would think I'd be excited to be at the beach, but...
When Daphne gets older, we see her actually become, like, a really good surfer.
Oh, really?
And, well, there's a movie called... Well, there's two movies that I'm thinking of. One called Legend of the Vampire. They go to Australia, and there's this legendary vampire called the Yawi-Hahu. And it's, like, a really cool vampire. It's not, you know, like your typical Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this... It's like this huge vampire, and you only see like his top half, and then his bottom half is like this tornado and whatever.
Oh, interesting.
And then he has like little minion vampires that are a little more traditional.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so you know they go to the beach during their stay there and whatever, and you know she's surfing. Well, and Shaggy and Scooby are surfing. But then there's another one called Aloha Scooby-Doo when they're in Hawaii, because Daphne is doing a like fashion magazine something or other, and anyway, yeah, so like, you know, she's surfing, and the whole thing is like, you know, the mainlanders aren't liking all these tourists on their waves and whatever, and then I know there's like an episode of What's New Scooby-Doo with a sea monster, not like the Loch Ness monster, just like a sea monster, and she's surfing too, and there's a guy that, like, you know, comes up to her as they're in the water and whatever, and he's kind of doing the same thing, like, tourists, get out of here, like, this is my waves and whatever, and so anyway, yeah, so eventually it's really gonna be like Daphne is into surfing, so. But
interesting.
Anyway,
yeah, because then we don't even see her surf in this episode. Like,
no, we didn't. She was like, guys, we're here to figure out what happened to the dolphins. Like, we will surf later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, they don't do much surfing, just at the beginning.
So, another note for Fred. He started to come up with a plan, and then they shot it down, but he was trying.
He was trying to do it.
It was just to get into the, like, skateboard shop, and then Daphne's all, let's just try the door.
Yeah.
Which
is a practical one. Like,
is not the first time this has happened. In that same movie I was talking about, Legend of the Vampire, they're trying to sneak into this guy's, like, camper trailer, and Fred's, like, coming up with this plan. Okay, so Daphne, you do, and whatever, and both Daphne and Velma are at the door, just like, it's open.
It's
like,
open.
hello.
Come on, guys.
And then I want to say later on in like a later movie called Vampires as well, it's called Music of the Vampire. There's another, or is it Music of the Vampire? Shoot. Oh, yeah. So they're trying to sneak into, like, this guy's running for mayor, and they're trying to sneak into his trailer. And anyway, I think kind of the same thing happens where he's like, okay, so to get into the trailer, and they're just like, just door, try it. Like,
let's try this first, and then if we have to come up with an elaborate plan.
And then it was just a funny thing with that. So Shaggy and Scooby are keeping watch and whatever, and they're like, tap the door, you know what? If you see guards or something, and so of course guards start coming, so they're like tapping their, you know, whatever. And I'm trying to remember the joke, but like, something like they run up to the guards run up to the door, and, you know, one's like, watch out, or whatever, like, it might swing open or whatever. And the guy's like, something like, doors don't explode. And then, of course, like, Fred and Daphne and Velma, come running out of it and just, like, whack them and whatever. They're like, what's wrong? And anyway, it was just random side note.
No, this is making sense. It's kind of connecting everything.
Yeah. So that, fun fact too, that Music of the Vampire is the only, it's the only one that's labeled, but as a musical.
Oh.
As a musical. You sing throughout it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like, they make it work. Like, it doesn't feel forced. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, it's just one of those things.
Flows.
Like, oh, it's a musical.
It's a musical, oh.
Which, I guess the name implies Music of the Vampire.
Music of the Vampire. Yeah, I would hope so. There's some sort of music going on.
Yeah.
Singing.
And then there's another one. It's an older one called Scooby Goes Hollywood. And that was not labeled as a musical, but, like, you could consider it a musical because they do sit and sing. But, like, that one's more of a, like, they're trying to make these different movie projects, and so they're singing in each different project that they film and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like just out of the blue, pick up
like a musical.
Yeah. Let's see.
Fred.
Yeah, Fred actually kind of has a deal with Red Herring this time.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And I put, like, as a side note, this is the first time they get paid for their mystery solving.
And then Red Herring doesn't want to pay them, but
the dolphin, picks them up.
Right. George is like, okay.
Yeah.
But it's weird because he, knows that they get paid and has some sort of idea of, their rate of pay or something. Yeah. We don't really know what it is, but...
Because he was like, okay, well, half. And Fred was just like, okay. And the girls were like, oh, good job. You got half what we
would be normally getting paid. Well, and then when Red Herring first showed up, he was dressed as the seaweed monster or whatever in the water.
Which, for a minute, I was like...
I thought that was the monster.
Well, yeah, I was like, is that the monster? I was like... Because I remembered this monster. I'm like, what? I swear it's a skateboarder jack-lantern dude.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, wow, this is early on. And it looks like some weird, lagoon monster.
Yeah.
Nothing I'd expect. But it was funny because the monster comes out and... You know how Fred's always like, it's Red Herring. Yeah. He doesn't think it's Red Herring, and it is. He's dressed up, and I thought that was so funny. And then Daphne's like, I'd recognize those legs anywhere. That was funny.
Did you notice Red's tattoo again?
Yeah, it was on his right side. And then I swear it was on his left shoulder at one point. And, the episode where he was at the beach.
Yeah.
I don't remember what episode that. I think that was a babysitter episode. Mm-hmm. So it's like it jumps to either arm. Or he has two, I have no idea.
Yeah, true. We haven't figured that out if he has two.
I didn't pay attention. I think he had a shirt on this time, but I don't remember.
Yeah, the only time that I noticed it was when they actually go into the water at some point.
Oh. Okay.
And Red's down there, and so he's in a tank top swimsuit thing.
Yeah.
So, we have talking dogs.
Oh. You're feeling neglected.
Come here. So that's all I had for Fred.
Yeah, I think I kind of talked about everything I had for Fred. So yeah.
Okay, so Daphne. So we meet a character eventually named Gnarly Charlie.
Gnarly Charlie.
And Daphne thinks he's cute.
Yeah. He's, really cute.
But Fred, because usually, when Fred or Daphne is liking someone else, the other is all jealous and whatever, but Fred was just went over his head. He was just like, cool, okay, moving on.
He's whoosh right over his head. Okay, they don't care. They're not at that point, I guess.
It does take time, because I know in Mystery Incorporated there's a few episodes where other guys ask Daphne on a date and whatever, and Fred's just like, that's great, have a great time and whatever. And that series, Daphne is really like, Fred, love me and whatever. And so when he's all supportive, she's all like, no, you're supposed to be the one to be like, no, we're secretly a thing,
Yeah, exactly.
So she's like, you're shocked.
You're not supposed to agree with this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so she thinks Gnarly Charlie's cute.
I missed what happened because I was writing another note, so I don't exactly know what the context was, but she's grossed out by the skateboard shop. Do you know what she was grossed out by?
The skateboard shop. I think it was the shack, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they ran into the monster, and they were trying to get into the shack to look for clues, and the monster comes out and kind of like chases them away, and then they're like, well, we'll go a bit later tonight, and go in, and she opens it, and it's all cobwebby and dirty again. Okay. And then she's like, give me my vacuum, and Velma just magically has a vacuum, and then
I didn't notice that.
She's like, I need my vacuum. And so she just cleans it. But yeah, she was grossed out by dirt again. It was like dusty and grimy and gross.
She's just keeping on that.
Yeah.
Gotta be clean.
Yeah, but this time she had like a vacuum. And I was like, wow, okay, we're getting serious about this.
Which, Daphne, she's still has the Scooby snacks, but she like misplaced them, forgot she didn't have any. Anyway, she was bribing Scooby and then didn't have any. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, conveniently, some sales lady is coming by with some.
Yeah.
But I was surprised because there was another episode, I think I did with Anissa, where Scooby just wouldn't budge for any amount, and so she was just like, a truckload of Scooby snacks, and brings this truck and whatever. And I'm like, where's your truck? Just call your truck. Like,
yeah, where's the truck now? It's just not all the time.
And something else to note is we haven't seen her butler that will eventually pop up and bring her anything too.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen him.
Which I wonder if, I can't remember, but I wonder if the butler almost like replaces Velma's like handy everything.
Everything, like suitcase.
Yeah.
He has everything in, maybe. And it'd be kind of funny. Just have this random butler show
Yeah.
up and just have everything. It's kind of like the telegram guy.
Yeah, true. Oh, I wonder if we'll see him again.
I wonder if we'll see him again. I'm interested.
I already talked about that. Yeah, so that's all I have for Daphne.
Yeah, Daphne. Yeah, I think we just talked about like the dirt again.
Yeah,
freaks out about. Yeah, that's all I really have too.
So I have like nothing for Velma, which is sad because it was Thelma, her aunt, that they were helping.
Yeah, it's basically just kind of the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she says Jinkies, they find the first clue.
Yeah, she said Jinkies once they found the first clue. That's literally my only note.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really have much. She still has... she does come up with the plan, I think, right, to catch the monster.
We didn't find out because it just all of a sudden jumped to it. And
oh, she did have the ramp, so when they, in the thing, so the ramp came, she pulled this ramp out of the suitcase that diverted the skateboarder up into the air, and then they're like, oh, you got rid of him. She's like, no, he'll be back in like 1.8 seconds, and he falls back down, but that's the only thing I remember, like, that she kind of did, but...
I noted, I mean, just because you were talking about, like, capturing the ghosts and whatever, that this is one of the first times that Scooby has, like, messed up the trap.
Oh, yeah.
Because usually Velma's been doing them and it's been working so well, and so we, are being like, why does Fred take over?
Yeah.
So now I'm a little like, did Fred do this one?
Did Fred come up with this? Like,
but I mean, it was Scooby's fault that
did he land on like the machine or something?
Well, no, he like went on the ramp or whatever, and then hit the tower that the rest of the gang were in, and then they fell out of it, and the collar thing fell on him.
Yes, that's right.
That's all I had for Velma.
Yeah, Velma. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, because you thought she'd be really a part of this episode, but her aunt wasn't really in it that much either.
What I noted too, I was like, we didn't even see much of her.
Yeah, she was there at the beginning, and then she came back at the end, and
which I thought it was going to be her at first because we weren't seeing her.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, plot twist, your aunt's evil.
Your aunt's evil, surprise.
So, Shaggy
and Scooby,
when they find the first clue, it's like a piece of food or something.
It's like a jelly bean.
Yeah. And then there's a trail of food.
Yeah.
And they just start eating the trail, and Shaggy said something like, this best clue ever, whatever, we can eat it.
Yeah.
And it reminded me, in the second live-action Scooby-Doo movie, Monsters Unleashed, that movie, like, this evil masked figure is what they call him. And he's basically taking the costumes of their previous unmasked creatures and whatever, and basically like using the costumes as a body and more or less putting a soul into them, and then they become these beings. But like, again, since they're becoming actual living beings, they're not costumes. And so like, one costume that they bring to life is the Black Knight Ghost. And so like the armor, you know, becomes really big, and then like between his chest or whatever and then his torso, like he's floating with this mist in between and whatever. And like, because there's a whole big deal, Daphne's fighting the Black Knight at one point, and she like goes to stab him and goes right in between him, you know, and he's just like, oh, that tickles or whatever. And she's like, crap, like we can't, you know, just stab this
just
thing.
Stab him and have him go away.
Yeah. And what's another good example? Oh, well, the tar monster, you know, is like just the costume is just this blob of tar that it looks like,
right.
You know. And then once it's like a real monster, it is just oozing tar and can spread itself anywhere and whatever. It's, you know, try and give an example of what it might be like. But, I mean, it can just trap a whole city in tar. And I mean, it does. Yeah. At one point, we see the monster just come up, and because there's, like, traffic, because monsters are on the loose, and so he just, like, comes up and traps everyone in his tar and whatever. And there's, like, going into that scene, we see a guy in his car, like, honking, and is like, move your piece of tin, like, come on, whatever. And then, so then once the tar monster came, he, like, went into the guy's car and, like, traps him, but he wraps around his mouth and is, like, suffocating him in tar and whatever. And it's, like, a part of me is like, oh, no, but also you're like, well, you're a jerk anyway.
Yeah,
like,
you were a jerk, so you deserve it. But at the same time, it's like, oh, that's not a good way to go.
Yeah. But anyway, what I was getting at with this, so there's all these different monsters, and then there's one monster that's, like, literally in the movie for, like, 15 seconds. I mean, it's one of those, like, I'm surprised it wasn't a deleted scene, because it was just, you know, so random, so out of the blue, but at the same time, I can kind of see it as it was a comedic relief.
Right.
But, so they're, you know, Shaggy and Scooby are trying to, like, save the day and whatever, and, you know, they lock the door and are like, we did it, you know, and then, like, behind them, this monster's forming and whatever, and anyways, it's a cotton candy glob. And so they're like, cotton candy glob, and so they eat it and whatever, and it's funny because the monster's like, no, I'll give you cavities.
Oh my gosh.
So then, like, it cuts, you know, like, they start eating it, and then it cuts and shows the other gang, and they're like, oh, where are the guys? Like, we gotta get this panel, you know, to stop them and whatever. And then they're coming down an elevator because the cotton candy glob had, like, the cone was on top of his head.
Oh my god.
And so, like, then it's on Scooby's head, and they have, like, cotton candy all over him. And anyway, so Shaggy's like, finally a monster we can sink our teeth into. And anyways, it kind of reminded me of that. I'm like, oh, hey. I mean, it wasn't the monster, but it was a trap.
Right, it was a trail
of
of
food. It was a clue, you know?
Yeah, it kept getting bigger, and then by the end it was like a turkey.
Yeah.
Or something. I was like, what the heck? And then it was like Red Herring dressed up as the skateboarder monster.
Yeah. For a minute, I was like, oh, Red Herring's, like, almost the monster.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. But, yeah, because I really do want, like, an episode where he is the monster. And again, I don't remember if there is.
Yeah. There's got to be something. He's kind of become more involved.
Yep.
I noticed, so.
But I mean, again, if we don't get one, I really would like a movie now where he comes back for revenge.
Right?
Like, you know, all those times that you accused me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because in the movie that they released last year, Curse of the 13th Ghost, again, it was like the closing of a series that was never finished. But in that series, they introduced a character called Flim Flam. I mean, he's basically an orphan that lives in the Himalayas, and he's learned to become a con artist to survive and whatever. And anyway, so, like, throughout this series, a lot of people didn't like him. I didn't mind him. Just like I don't mind Scrappy, whereas I know a lot of people don't like Scrappy. I'm like, I mean, yes, there are like times when I like Scrappy more than others. But like, anyway, so like, yeah, so like no one liked Flim Flam and whatever, and even the original people that made that series, like, have put like in journals and diaries that we found and whatever, have said like hated that character, like, but apparently it was just like a corporate thing of like, put a kid in there for the kids and whatever, and so they just made him just to have and please the corporate. And anyway, nobody liked him, whatever. Then in the movie, they brought him back as, you know, older. But it was funny because the writer of the film actually like had done like an interview and whatever, and originally they told him like, you can't do this, and so they were like, no Flim Flam, no Scrappy. And
wow.
Warner Brothers hates Scrappy-Doo, and that's why he's a villain at one point. So Scrappy's in jail, as we know right now, you know. And I really want a redemption of him. I'm like, I hate that they made him a villain.
Yeah.
Again, he was a villain purely because Warner Brothers hates him.
They hates him, yeah.
And I'm like, you could have done something so much better, you know, than just, you know, here's the villain just because we don't like him. You know, he could have done a way better story.
Exactly.
Anyway, so the writer of Curse of the 13th Ghost was able to convince them, you know, I'll basically kind of reinvent Flim Flam, you know, to change what you guys don't like about him, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, so they made him a little bit older, whatever, and everybody loves him in that movie. I love him in that movie. I mean, he still felt like Flim Flam, but, you know, matured.
Yeah.
And anyway, yeah, so I'm like, if you can redeem a character that, like, everybody, including the people who worked on him, hated, you know, like, you can bring back Red Herring.
Right, exactly. Who is not, like, that annoying.
Yeah,
like,
nobody, I mean, as far as I know, nobody is like, oh, Red Herring. Like, you know, he's just that ongoing gag.
He's the gag. Like, it's kind of the funny part of, this particular series.
So, yeah, I'm like, bring him back.
That would be really funny if they brought him back, actually.
Yeah,
I'd
really.
love to see him as an older person. What he'd look like, and... yeah, if he's in jail, I don't know.
I know. Yeah, right?
Is he really as bad as Fred puts him out to be? But he's just a kid, so...
True, that's
see what
true.
he's like when he's older. But, yeah, I'd love to see that. That'd be funny.
If they do, I'll let you know.
Yes.
I'll be like...
Red Herring!
Yeah, watch a movie. I'll send you, like, the clip on Snapchat and be like, look at
this! Red Herring! I'm so excited! Yeah, I kind of want him to, like... I don't know. I want him to be the bad guy, or, I don't know, redeem himself a little bit, I guess.
There's another movie, too, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. It was the last Scooby-Doo anything that they hand-drawn before they went all digital. And it's my personal favorite animated Scooby-Doo movie. But anyway, Scooby and Shaggy meet these two girls, you know, a girl and a dog. One for each.
Yeah.
And I won't spoil it because there's a big plot twist in that movie. But those girls, like, because, you know, Shaggy and Scooby fall for them and whatever.
Of course.
But I'm like, they need to come back because, like, they were so good together.
Right.
And so I don't know. I mean, Warner Brothers is kind of in this thing right now of revisiting old Scooby projects because last year they did Curse of the 13th Ghost, finished that series off, and then they did a Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island, which Zombie Island is like the most praised Scooby movie ever. And, you know, so they did a sequel to the most beloved Scooby-Doo movie and whatever, which people hate the sequel. Hate it. And I'm like, I love it because it's... Okay, here's my little rant, okay? Everybody's like, and they don't like Curse of the 13th Ghost either because of the end. But I'm like, I really enjoy Return to Zombie Island. I enjoyed Curse of the 13th Ghost more than Return to Zombie Island. But I enjoyed Return to Zombie Island because, like, everybody had these expectations of, like, oh, it's going to be super dark, you know, like the original movie and whatever. And it's gonna be this and this and this, and they basically were like, here's the original, flop, you know, and it's like, I mean, it was a lot more lighthearted. It was a lot more comedic. I mean, there were those elements of like bringing that feel of the original into it and whatever. And I'm just like, it's not at all what you expected, and that's what I enjoy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like if you just go into it having all these expectations met, then it's like you saw the movie in your head before you watched it. You
exactly.
know, there was no surprises.
Yeah.
And that's the surprise at the end of Curse of the 13th Ghost.
Right.
Is what people hate.
Yeah.
And it's what I love most about it, because again, everybody had this expectations and it wasn't at all what everybody expected it to be, and I'm like, that's, you know, caught me off guard and whatever, caught me by surprise. That's like great, you know. That's what a movie
like,
should
that's
do.
What you want.
Yeah,
so you don't want the same thing over and over again.
So
you should be surprised and have something different.
Anyway, I'm like, since y'all are in this like revisiting old stories, let's bring back some characters.
Yeah,
Red Herring, Crystal and Amber.
Oh, is that the name of the girl and the dog?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, and then there's also another girl in this other movie, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, where Shaggy turns into a werewolf because Dracula needs a werewolf. I really don't love that movie. It's one of my least favorite Scooby movies, just because it's like 90 minutes of racing, and I can't do that. I'm like, I don't know. I can't do it. I'm like, nothing is happening. They're just going around and around and around.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Shaggy has a girlfriend in that movie, and we never see her again. And so I'm like,
it's random.
Well, and there's like there's a cliffhanger with that movie that we've never gotten, you know, story to. Like, so I'm like, are we gonna get that?
Yeah,
now?
are we gonna resolve this?
Anyway, I'm like, did Shuggy? That's her name, the girl in that movie. No, or no, not Shuggy.
Is that
Googie?
Oh, Googie.
Googie gets. I was like, does she get murdered or something? Because like they go to this place with all these monsters, you know, and I'm like, did she get murdered, and that's why we've never seen her again.
She's just dead. Like, where is she?
It was funny.
She didn't come out of that place.
I posted about that. I'm like, well, because I was like, somehow it came up on Twitter, and I was like, oh, secretly Shaggy, you know, is like still a werewolf, but he's learned how to control when he turns into a werewolf, and he murdered her, and you know, isn't like telling anyone about her, and that's why we've never heard about her again. And he told Scooby not to say anything about it, whatever. And someone was like something like, dude, chill, like people can break up, you don't have to go straight to murder. I'm like, it was a joke.
It was a joke. Like, he was a werewolf.
Yeah.
Like, he could have murdered her. Come on.
So, anyway, I don't know where we were.
We were talking about Scooby and Shaggy.
The only other thing that I had was that Shaggy, like before they started running away from the monster, he like pulled out safety gear for all the gang.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Let's be safe.
Yeah, now we can skate away. And didn't they all pile on one skateboard?
Yeah, it was one big skateboard. And they had like weird helmets on it.
Yeah.
Like they were they looked like Legos or something. They were square and had holes in them. Yeah. They were weird. I was like, all right. So yeah, they all got on one big skateboard. I feel like that's usually what happens. They get on like a big sled. Yeah. Last time it was a picnic basket. It was like a giant picnic basket they rode down.
Oh yes, that's right. And I mean, it wasn't in this episode they didn't do it, but like usually Velma's carrying them all and whatever.
Oh yeah.
And
that's so funny.
There's a episode called, or in the Be Cool Scooby-Doo series, where, and this one's a very like self-aware series, so it pokes fun at itself, but so there's like one time where they're like, okay, you know, everybody run and whatever, and Fred's like, everybody pile on Velma, and so you know, it's like this music, and then it's just like dead silent, and everyone's like climbing each other, and anyway, and Velma's just like, it says something like, why the weakest of us all, you know, is like carrying all of us when we could all just run ourselves. And anyway, the whole episode is like, that's the gag of the episode. So Velma's just like, why, like, why am I carrying you?
Why am I carrying you?
Eventually she's just like, you know, like stops running, is just like, and they're like, the monster's coming. And can't remember, but I think eventually she just like drops him like, then go! Like,
drops him and starts running around. Bye!
So, anyways, it will get like
so
acknowledged eventually.
Yeah, that's great.
So, red herring. Well, that's all I had for Shaggy and Scooby.
Yeah.
Okay.
They kind of I like their little outfits that they had at the beginning. That was all I remember.
Yeah, they had little
outfits.
beach outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had sunglasses. It was cute.
And no, Shaggy had a green beach outfit, right?
Yeah, and then Scooby had purple. Right? Okay. I think it was purple.
Because we do see Shaggy in like beach attire.
Yeah.
Again later on, and it's a red shirt.
Uh-huh.
Which is funny because there will be a time period where he wears a red shirt over a green shirt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
that was just a side note.
Red herring. I mean, we've kind of been talking about him. We said that he's like a seaweed monster.
Yeah.
At the beginning. But then he gets pinched by a lobster.
Yeah.
And he dresses up as the monster, the headless skateboarder, and then. We also kind of briefly said he hires the gang to clear his name because the like beach patrol lady is
Sandy Sneakers.
Yeah, she's suspecting him of being the monster because he dressed up as the monster for a minute.
Yeah.
So,
and then it's just kind of funny because he always is the one that like gets chased by the adults, or he's like getting harassed and. So he has to, like, hire the gang to clear his good name for the beach patrol lady. I guess she's some kind of police officer or something. I don't know what kind of authority she holds besides beach patrol.
Yeah, beach patrol.
But that was kind of funny. So yeah, he, like, hires them, and I thought that was funny. So the gang has 2 different jobs that they're working on.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
But they kind of ignore Red Herring.
They
like,
do, yeah.
He's like, well, aren't you supposed to be working on clearing my name? And they're like, well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
And so they're not really doing that. Just leading him on. Taking his money and doing nothing. So that was funny.
So, side characters. I mean, I guess we'll hurry and jump into Sandy since we were talking about her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's a beach patrol, wants to catch Red Herring. She, like, does not like kids, did not like the gang.
Nope.
So
she said, they're like, why do you have all this stuff in the back of your van? She's like, because I work for the beach patrol.
Yeah.
What do you expect? Parachutes or something?
Yeah. Carrot juice? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then, Thelma, we've kind of talked about, is Velma's aunt. Has the same glasses as Velma.
Yep.
But her dolphins are disappearing. That's why the gang first came. And she's all like, the gang just kind of assumed that they were being stolen, but then Thelma's like, well, I don't know if they've been stolen. Maybe just scared off and whatever. And so we don't. Did we ever? Yeah, they were being stolen, right?
Yeah, they were being stolen. We find out.
Okay.
Yep. Because they were being used for something else.
Yes.
And
we had gnarly.
Gnarly.
Sorry.
Oh no, Al.
Oh, Al. Yes.
Yeah. Who runs the skateboard Orama or like a skateboard place with ramps and a bunch of stuff.
And he tells the gang that he doesn't know how to ride a skateboard, but he just sells them and whatever.
Yeah.
But then they catch him red-handed. He used to be an international skateboarder.
Yeah.
But then it turns into this drug ad.
Oh gosh, it's so funny.
So,
which is totally with the times, I feel.
Yes, it
when
was.
I was in school, Dare and stuff was such a big thing. So I was like, it kind of feels right with the time period.
So, yeah, he was an international skateboarder, and then his career got ruined because he got into drugs.
Yeah. And they just said drugs randomly, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
this took a side.
I was honestly kind of like, "Whoa!" Drugs. We've never had drugs yet, and I honestly don't remember many episodes dealing with drugs. So.
No, yeah, I was like, "This is weird," and they got so mad. They were so angry, and they're like, "This is gonna ruin your life." And Fred was so mad. I remember when they talked about drugs.
Mom was like, it can kill you.
Yeah.
And they were staring right at the screen
Yeah, it was a total drug ad for Dare. I don't know. They probably had commercials about it in between when it was airing for the first time. Oh my gosh. It was funny. I did not expect that at all.
No.
And then they go back to because they find that in the shack. So they find all these
Yes.
trophies, and then she looks them up on her computer or something. Is that how they find out?
I think they found a little newspaper thing
Oh yeah,
in
that's
the
what
shack.
it was. And ruined his career by doing drugs. And so they go back to his house. I guess he lives at the skateboard park.
Yeah.
And like yell at him and tell him drugs are found. He's like, I know, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
But he acts like so stupid.
Yeah.
Because they made him like, he's an idiot. He did drugs. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
well,
just
that's
like,
yeah. When we first met him, I was kind of like, he's so like.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it makes sense now, but like, I don't know. They really played on that.
Oh
like,
yeah. And he started
drugs can
crying.
make you. Yeah.
He was
like,
crying.
my life.
He sat on the porch and they're like, I don't remember. He's like, I'm just gonna go back to sleep.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, they run up to his house and bang on the door, like, why did you do drugs? And you really can skateboard. Liars! So, yeah, he was totally stupid, but it was funny. And, yeah. And then we have Gnarly Charlie, who does not want people at the beach, because kind of that same situation that's happening with other things, so.
Yeah, he was getting mad of all the tourists to the marine.
The marine, for the dolphins and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So there was a bunch of people at the beach, and he couldn't surf. So yeah, so Gnarly Charlie. He was act stupid too.
So then, yeah, really. I thought it was him at first.
I thought so too. I think they wanted us to think that.
He was the red herring.
He was the red herring.
So the villain is the headless skateboarder.
Yep.
He is green-skinned. He doesn't have a head. He's holding a jack-o'-lantern, and that's what talks. Obviously, he's riding a skateboard, and he's like in a white tank top and shorts and whatever. And like he'd always start his sentences with "dude."
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm gonna get you, dude.
So then, we also find out he has a hideout under the water, like in the water.
Oh yeah,
or whatever.
They go scuba diving.
Yep.
They're like, this is the last place we have to check. Is in the water.
Glad they just have scuba gear, right?
Gear that like they can talk to each other. It's like super high tech. That was funny.
So then we figure out that the skateboarder dude was Al.
It was Al all along. Because he did drugs and ruined his life. And when you do drugs, then you make bad decisions. So what he was doing, he was stealing the dolphins to transport drugs, right?
Yep.
Because then he put something on the dolphins to control them. I was like, wow, this is really a thought-out plan. Like, kind of elaborate to steal dolphins and use them as your drug deals.
We learn that he has like a drug gang or whatever.
Yeah. And it's what's her face sneakers, Sandy Sneakers.
Yes.
Which that was totally random at the end. Yeah. Wait, it was you too. I was like, wait, she was in on it. It was totally because Gnarly Charlie comes up. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna arrest you too. And I was like, what? So he's like an undercover FBI agent, Gnarly Charlie.
Yeah, Gnarly Charlie, which I think is the first time we're having like a FBI agent. At the end. This will become, like, I mean, not something that happens every episode, but, like, we will see it a lot more. And me and Angie always have to laugh because it's always, like, there's these FBI agents on the case, being undercover. And then these kids come and do it in a night, and then they're just like, good job, kids, I've been doing this for months. And it's like...
I've been undercover for 6 months, and you come in.
And I always, like, refer to Zombie Island because in that movie we meet a character, his name's Bo, and he is acting as these people's gardener, the people that own the mansion on this island thing that they go to in the bayou. And at the end of it, he's all like good job, I've been undercover, like that's why I'm acting as a gardener, blah blah blah. And I'm like, this literally happened in they figured all this out and stopped it all in maybe 7 hours tops.
Right.
And how long have you been here?
Exactly.
You didn't get anything?
Aren't you a little bit annoyed right now?
I'm like, oh.
Do you want to punch these kids? Because you're not good at your job.
No.
Oh, it's true. But yeah, he just like comes up and arrests them. And
Yeah.
it's like, what?
Yeah,
So, yeah. And then, yeah, they get the dolphins back.
Yep, they do.
And
they get paid.
They get paid,
by
yeah,
Red,
by a red herring. And they did nothing because Sandy Sneakers was a bad guy anyway. So
Yeah.
why was she mad at red herring? I don't know. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just had that they were... She was, like, trying to put the blame onto Red. So...
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. But yeah, she wasn't really in it at all,
No.
so I didn't really feel like she would have been...
I thought she was going to be the one to, like, come handcuff the guys.
Yeah, because she said, oh, I'll take it from here.
Yeah, she did start to.
She was going to just let him escape, apparently.
Yeah. Run away.
Jeez. Good thing Gnarly Charlie was there.
Right place at the right time.
Good job. He still kind of talked like a surfer guy,
Yep.
even after he was...
I don't think he ever took off his sunglasses.
No, he was... Yeah, he was in his like his swimsuit trunks and arresting people in his sunglasses. So, yeah, I liked this episode. I thought it was
yeah, it was new, like dynamic. New, yeah, I don't know.
And the drug message.
Yeah, first time for that.
First time for that. We'll see if there's any other messages that we get later on, but that was interesting to me.
So, just some little like side notes. This is a really short romp that we have.
Oh, yeah. It was
really
very short. Yeah.
We've already said that this is the first time they're dealing with drugs. That this is the first time that we're seeing them get paid. And then, also, this is kind of my Scooby Snack fact. Sandy is the first criminal to not dress up in a monster costume.
Oh, yeah.
That they caught, so.
Yeah, she was just normal.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get any further, we actually have a email. Someone sent us an email about this week's episode. They want us to keep their name anonymous, so we will do that. We will not say a name. But the email reads, "Hey, I love your podcast and have already seen next week's episode. They talked about smuggle-in drugs, and I'm wondering if there is an epidemic or outbreak of addiction at that time, because I find it weird that they would mention such an adult topic. I hope all is well, and the podcast is amazing." Well, thank you so much for those kind words, first of all. And again, thank you for sending an email. This is our first one, really, actually. So, again, you know who you are, but thank you for this. So, what's interesting is that, yeah, there actually was an outbreak of trying to educate about drugs. So, again, this series takes place in the 80s, and during this time, it was a national crisis, and so many cartoons actually put in some sort of episode discussing drugs, and they would air it during Nancy Reagan's Just Say No campaign, you know, just say no to drugs type thing. And so, yeah, it was kind of a part of this crisis and whatever. But what's interesting as well is since this was like a US type thing that was going on, this episode was actually skipped. They did not air this episode in other countries because it was dealing more with a US crisis. So, interesting. Very interesting. Lots of history. As London said, there was, you know, big ads and stuff about drugs and whatever. So, yes, this is a product of a big crisis that was going on at the time. So, thank you once again for this email. You know who you are. And if anyone else would like to send in emails about future episodes coming up, you can do so. I will say our email again later, but you can email us at sdlegendpodcast@gmail.com. So then for the timeline wise, really the only thing we got out of this is that Velma's aunt, again, I think we're going with that she's on her mom's side.
Yeah.
Again, we don't see her again after this, so...
Yeah.
Bye.
That's about it. Bye. Nice knowing you.
So, I mean, I guess we can kind of start building a family tree for her.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're now hoping to see in the future?
I feel like we're going to see a little more red herring get involved, so I still hope for that. Every time I say that. But...
like I said, the next episode's like a Halloween episode, so it'll be our first holiday-themed episode next.
Yeah, next.
And, I'm going to spoil this, but, like, the next episode will be our first, like, there's going to be a real supernatural thing in it. So... yeah, that's all I know going forward just from the next episode. But
yeah,
again, I know just by accident of watching as it was playing, we will see Daphne's house. We will go to Daphne's house eventually.
Oh, cool.
So
that'll be fun.
Oh, and I didn't bring this one up either, but a while ago, I had this series just playing for my nephew when he was over one day, and there was an episode, I don't know what it's called. I want to say it's the chicken starring episode, but anyways, we meet Fred's uncle.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, hey. I don't remember a name or anything. I was just kind of playing in the background, and it was like, my uncle, and I was like, wait.
There's
I was like,
family
okay.
member.
So
we'll get to see someone else's family member.
Yeah, we are going to get some family eventually. Cool. And last note, we will see eventually all of Scooby's family.
Oh, okay.
We see his mom, his dad, some of his siblings, and maybe a few cousins. But yeah, we're gonna get in one episode. We're gonna get like all these connections to Scooby's family.
Yeah.
So
wow, that'll be cool then. Okay, awesome.
Okay, so do you think Al and what was her name? Sandy?
Sandy.
Ever come back?
I don't think so.
No.
I think they're in for federal prison.
Yeah, really. Yeah, no.
Especially if the FBI's involved, they're gone.
Yeah, really.
I doubt it, so.
No. Well, no, I don't know. There's one episode I know, that has a, undercover cop or whatever. But I can't remember if they were working with the FBI or not, but the villain or the criminal, I guess, in that episode comes back for revenge later.
Oh, okay.
But again, I'm not sure if that undercover person was FBI or not. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see Gnarly Charlie come back and see him.
Yeah.
Because if Daphne has a crush on him, I think that could be kind of a funny dynamic.
Well, I'm trying to remember. So there's a What's New Scooby-Doo episode. It's actually the Halloween episode of that series. And Kiss is in that episode.
Oh, wow.
And I'm trying to think, because then we have a whole movie called Scooby-Doo and Kiss, Rock and Roll Mystery, where they're in the whole movie and whatever. And in the movie, I believe it's Star Child that Daphne is all over and whatever, the whole movie. But I'm trying to think if in the episode she's ever like, oh my gosh, Kiss. But just, kind of connecting that, someone she's into, we kind of see them multiple times and whatever, so.
But she didn't really say much after. She just said he was cute, and then it was.
Yeah, we never really got it later on, though.
She didn't say much after that, so not really a big deal then. She was just making an observation.
Yeah, really.
Oh.
All right, well, that's all I have for this episode.
Yep.
So, oh yay, what did I do?
Good job.
I moved.
Good job. We did nothing, but got it, I haven't yet.
All right, so next week will be Chapter 10, and the title is, I should be more prepared, which is Ghost Who's Coming to Dinner. If you would like to get in contact with us, you can find the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at SD Legend Podcast, and you can email us if you'd like to send us some comments, maybe how we're doing, or any of your thoughts on any of the episodes that we've talked about so far. You can email us at sdlegendpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to contact me more personally and get to know me a little more personally, you can find me on Twitter at jazz820, and on Instagram it is smash_vlogs. Then I also have a YouTube channel, again, where I do other Scooby stuff. I also do a lot of other stuff. As of this moment, we're having lots of Zombies 2 from Disney Channel right now going on my channel. But my channel is Smash, but it's lowercase sm and then all uppercase ASH. If you just search Ashton Hardy, it should be one of the first ones that pop up. And yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you, London, for helping me again.
Thank you. It's been fun. This is exciting.
I know, I'm like, you're so far the one that has like the most consistent episodes.
Yeah, every episode, I've been in a row. There hasn't been anyone in between me, so hopefully you guys are enjoying. It's been fun. So thanks again.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you.
Yep.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
Yep. See you next time, guys. Bye.